Nevada is a grassroots nonprofit organization that advocates for policies empowering everyday Asian Pacific Islander Nevadans. Nevada is home to a growing APIA community, accounting for 1 in 10 voters. We are One APIA Nevada. Concili Incorporated is Nevada's premier Democratic campaign firm, fighting for progressive issues and candidates for over a decade, and proud sponsor of Battleborn Progress.
This episode of Out in Front brought to you by
Concili Inc., Nevada State Education Association, One APIA Nevada, Silver State Voices, and Stefan and Marta Schmidt, as well as our episode sponsors, Save Lives Nevada and Washoe Education Association.
I'm still on mute. That's what it was. Hi, Maria. All right, we're back. We good? All right, we're back. And here's the fun fact. I forgot to unmute myself because we're in DC on the street eating dinner, and I forgot to unmute myself on Zoom. So I apologize to all of our fans. This is what happens when you're live and the producer is sitting next to you eating dinner. Okay, great show tonight. Let me reintroduce our guests. So we have Paula Luna, who's our operations manager. She's going to tell you all about her amazing trip to DC. It's like hashtag Paula goes to DC. First time in DC. It's going to be amazing. You're going to talk to her in a few minutes. We took her to the Supreme Court the other night, flipped off the Supreme Court. We also have Anna Scholl, who's our national executive director, who's here with us. She's going to talk to us a little bit about what we've been doing this week in DC. And then we have Brad Bauman, friend and family member of Battleborn Progress, who is sitting next to me, literally glaring at me. who is going to talk to us about things that are happening in DC. Going to be a quick episode tonight because you can hear it's loud on this street corner. We're literally sitting in front of a beautiful restaurant in DC. So I'm just, doing this, winging it. It's going to be great. So we're in DC this week. We're working with our America Votes Coalition. We're planning things for the election. We've been going around DC lobbying. We were lobbying on Aviquame, our national monument today. So many cool things that we did. We met with Congresswoman Titus. We met with Congress. Again, folks, we're live. This is a live show. Hang on, let's let the ambulance pass. So we met with Congresswoman Lee today on Abiquame. It was amazing. We had really productive meetings. We met with Senator Cortez Masto. A lot going on in DC. It's wild here. Anyways, yeah, we aren't actually storming the Capitol tonight, so don't worry. We are calmly sitting at a dinner table. So I want to bring in Paula. Paula, this is your first time in DC, so I'm going to bring her in. Talk to the viewers about your trip so far and what's been happening in DC. I'll ask you some questions. Go ahead.
Hi, it's my first time in DC. It's been amazing.
It's your first time on OIF too? Welcome to the show.
It's my first time as official guest.
Yes.
You did throw me on that one time.
Yeah, I did.
But it's been amazing. The weather's been nice, but apart from that, I'm excited, geeking out, seeing where democracy supposed to be happening in the country, and being spoiled by meeting amazing people, amazing partners, eating amazing food. So what do you have for me? What questions?
Okay, so with the conference, what was your favorite part of the conference we were at and the election planning that we've been doing?
It was definitely seeing how many people are involved in the work, and the big takeaway from the conference is that the ground is where it's happening. So what we're doing, what our partners are doing in our communities is what's making a difference. And I'm very excited to be a part of that.
And then, you finished your final this week for school. Talk to us about what you did on your
Shout
final
out to
this week.
UNLV grad school. I master's. Now I just have to write my dissertation, my master's thesis. So that was very exciting, and it was exciting to do my Judging in America course right after I got to stand right in front of the Supreme Court. So that was cool.
Yeah, we flipped it off. Well, I flipped it off. You did. You were respectful. So you've been going around DC. You've seen a bunch of the monuments. You've seen a bunch of museums. You've seen you were in the halls of Congress lobbying today. What was lobbying like for your first time ever?
It was really cool. I felt very official, and and I am shocked that people don't get lost in the tunnels every day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a maze. So the vote happened this week with abortion. Obviously, that was a really tough thing to be here for, right? With the decision being leaked last week, it was hard to hear that and feel that when we were at home, and then we came here and stood in front of the building where they're going to eventually make that decision about abortion. How did that feel to you, and what are your thoughts and feelings on that?
It's where no one was surprised, right? But it's still just like such a punch. And then you have people like Susan Collins, who says, oh, she was lied to, she was confused, whatever, and then she has a direct opportunity to make a difference. And we knew she wasn't going to take it, but just to see that she actually in fact did not take it, it sucks.
All right. Anything you want to add? I'm going to transition to Brad really quickly since he's sitting next to me. What else do you want to add, Paula?
I will just take a minute to say thank you to the BBP fam and everybody. Everybody's been really kind. All our partners have been really nice, showing me around, and just excited for my first time here. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
I'm sure the viewers at home are going to have questions, so we'll come back to you in a second. If you have questions for Paula, now's the time to ask in the chat. Just add them, and my staff will get them over to us because we still have a team at home. Yes, and Paula's paper was on immigration law and immigration judges, so she knows all about this, so ask her about it. All right, bringing in Brad Bauman. Brad, I'm going to bring you in.
Oh, wow.
Man of the hour. All right. So, friend of the show, Brad Bauman.
It is so nice to be here.
It's so nice to have you
Well,
again.
thank you.
Thank you for dinner
Oh.
at this lovely restaurant that we're just crashing and doing OIF at.
Absolutely our pleasure.
Wildly inappropriate. So, Brad,
Yes.
talk to us about like some of the stuff that's going on in the Capitol right now in DC, and like what we're hearing, what we're feeling, that kind of stuff. You're gonna have to be loud.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it's a really interesting time on Capitol Hill. It's a really interesting time in Washington, D.C. It's May. We now have just a little over 4 months until the election. And unfortunately, we still haven't gotten a real shot at a progressive agenda through the House and the Senate. So it's a really interesting period, to say the least. House members.
Hold on.
Oh,
Hell's Angels are going by. Oh, actually, it's police.
it's police. Um,
Same thing. Anyways, continue.
House members and Senate members are trying to figure out what is doable before they adjourn for the election, what this summer is actually going to look like, what they're going to be able to deliver on for the American people, and ultimately what they're going to be able to run on once they get home, for what everybody unfortunately feels is going to be a very bruising election.
Yeah.
So it's not a really great time to be here, and it's fraught with a lot of anxiety.
I mean, I don't think any time's a great time to be here.
That's also a good point.
But,
It's been a while.
yeah, it's been a journey.
It really has.
So, what do you think they're going to get done over the next couple of months when it comes to the big issues that progressive groups like us care about? Do you think that they're going to do anything? Do you think they're going to, we're still waiting on Build Back Better, for God's
Sure.
sake. We need, prescription drug pricing. We need lots of different things. We need them to vote on an abortion bill.
Yes.
We need them to take care of the filibuster. Continuously, the Senate beef is a problem. So
Yes.
what are you thinking we see, if anything?
I think that all of our expectations should be very, very low.
Yeah.
There's very little that it seems can and will be accomplished.
Right.
Because of the structural problems that the Senate has, structural problems that, quite frankly, are fictitious. There's no reason why we should have a filibuster. It's complete and utter bullshit.
Yep.
I think it's fair to say, though, that as it becomes more and more clear that less and less are going to be able to be accomplished, all eyes are really going to be on the White House and what the president is able to do through executive orders. And he actually has a pretty wide-ranging authority to deliver on a lot of things that I think a lot of our partners are working on. And, at the end of the day, there's still a lot of good that can come from communities of our concern, from things that the White House very much might end up accomplishing through the executive order process.
Okay. Do you think he'll actually do it?
Yes,
Okay.
I really do. I've got a lot of faith and confidence that he is.
Part of the problem, though, is an executive order is often a Band-Aid because it can be undone by a future administration. So yes, that's a good temporary solution, but how do we ensure that A, we get these folks reelected so we can have a progressive agenda going forward, and B, once they get back here, God willing, they actually get some stuff done. And, as Shelby at home has said, really kind of gain the guts to actually get it over the finish line.
Yeah, I think it starts from acknowledging within ourselves that, all of us are a little disappointed about how the last 2 years have gone. But just because we're disappointed, it doesn't mean we don't show up. It doesn't mean we don't fight hard. And it doesn't mean that we do everything in our power to ensure electoral success this year. Because unfortunately, the thing that has become most apparent is that success or failure for us is no longer about like what legislation is going to get done. When success or failure is really about whether democracy is going to continue as we know it in this country.
Yes.
And so even if we feel as though the agenda that we're hoping for is not being delivered on Capitol Hill, we have something really important to fight for.
Yeah.
And that, quite frankly, is our freedom to vote, the democracy that is set up in order to try and protect our communities. And without it, like, things are going to get far worse.
Absolutely. My last question, and we will take one question from the audience.
Sure.
And if the audience has questions, now's the time to put your stuff in the chat. Like I said, it's going to be a quick episode tonight. You know, let's take it back to Nevada now. You've done a lot of work with me and Maria and our team in
Yeah.
Nevada for a long time. We know this election is going to be incredibly important, and Nevada is incredibly important, not just for this cycle, but for 2024 and the electoral map. Getting CCM,
Yeah.
Catherine Cortez Masto reelected is critical. Getting Steve Sisolak reelected is critical. What do you think the chances are of that? And what do you think Nevadans need to be focused on to make sure that gets done?
So first, I can't even begin to describe how important Nevada is for the nation. We've been talking about this for a very long time, that as demographics are shifting and as America is changing, Nevada in and of itself is looking more and more like the new American majority. It really is the place that most resembles what America looks like. And as an early primary state, is going to have an amazing visibility and voice in the next round of primaries. So we absolutely have to show the American people, you know, that Nevada is ready, and Nevada is going to be a bellwether state. And it is just how important it is in terms of what we now call the big blue wall out west, because success or failure for Democrats nationally really does end when the Pacific time zone begins in Nevada.
All right. So our question is from Matt Kimball.
Yes. Hey, Matt, it's good to hear from you.
Well, while it won't help folks this year, are we likely to see tax reform that helps work people, like the Performing Artist Tax Parity Act?
So my guess, and I really appreciate the question. My guess is that the place where there is most likely to be any successes is in codifying a lot of the tax reform measures that have been brought up because of COVID. And among them, a lot of the different tax relief packages that were very much geared towards folks who are part of the gig economy, who have been essential members of the entertainment community. And honestly, you know, think even more broadly than that, the child tax credit and what the president has been able to do and Congress has been able to do. If there is going to be a place where we're going to see any successes, my guess is that it will be in codifying those and making sure that they are permanent fixtures in the tax code.
Okay, so taxes is a place where we have room to grow and we have something we can actually do.
I think so.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna come back to you in a second, Brad.
Rock on.
Stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna move the computer and we're gonna go to the other side now. Now I'm gonna bring in Anna Scholl, our National Executive Director. Anna, welcome. Good to see you again. Thank you for being
Hello.
here. Okay, so we're gonna get some spoons delivered and some forks. So thank you to our wait staff here. We appreciate them. Officially the most awkward OIF I've ever done. And they're so willing to just like work with us. It's amazing. But hang on, there we go. You scoot over closer. There we go. All right. So Anna, introduce yourself. Tell them what we do at Progress Now, our national organization, and who you are and all those things.
Sure. So I'm Anna Scholl. I'm the Executive Director of Progress Now, which is the umbrella for communications and digital hubs in 24 states across the country, including Battleboard Progress. So versions of Battleboard Progress across the country. And we at Progress Now help support everybody investing in their work, helping them do it better, connecting to folks in DC, connecting to national funders, connecting work across the state so folks can learn from each other and test together and do more and do better. And before I did this, I founded and ran Progress Virginia, which is the Virginia version of Battleboard Progress. So,
Absolutely. All right. So Anna, we saw Roe, the situation with Roe last week. We obviously have been here all week. We saw the vote. One of our viewers is asking, hang on, let me find it. Schumer scheduled the vote knowing it was doomed, but hopefully to get the votes on the record. Do you think there is value in that? And how can the vote be deployed as a talking piece in these Senate campaigns, especially like ours in Nevada with CCM?
I mean, sure, there is value in getting people on the record and being able to say that, Republican senators like Ron Johnson um, in Wisconsin are against making sure that people have access to the health care that they need when they need it, that he does not support allowing people to make decisions over their own bodies and decide whether and when they want to become parents. Also, it's not real exciting to watch something we all want and need die in the
Over
Senate
and over
again,
and over again.
and
Yeah.
over.
It's
You
a little
know,
demoralizing. Yeah.
it's absolutely demoralizing. And the reality is that, as Brad said, the Senate is broken and there is a fix. These senators could choose to abolish the filibuster and use the power that we gave them when we elected them to pass real policies that would impact people and improve their lives. And when it comes to what we can do, our jobs as voters and as citizens don't end on election day. Our responsibilities don't end after we cast our ballot. We all have a responsibility to continue to use our voices and use our power to communicate with our elected officials what we want from them and what we're demanding from them, because they are just tools, right? They are there to execute and to deliver on the things that we say that we need. And unless we're vocal about continuing to demand and articulate what those things are, it's not in front of them. It may not be the top thing in front of their mind. And they're thinking about, how do I raise money? How do I get reelected? How do I go to a fancy dinner with a lobbyist, right? And it's our responsibility to remind them every day, day in, day out, why they are here, what their responsibility is, what they are supposed to be doing for us.
So there's another comment in the chat from Beverly, and she asks, is there another chance for a WIPA vote? That's the acronym we're using. To be voted on in the Senate. And my thought on that is, unless we do away with the filibuster with the current makeup of the Senate, what's the point?
Well, sure. I mean, Chuck Schumer could bring that bill up over and over again to fail over and over, the way Republicans did in trying to repeal Obamacare, right? There's no limit on the number of times you could tilt at that windmill and fail if that's what really entertains you, is to keep falling on your face. Is there a whole lot of point and utility in that? No, probably not.
There wasn't a whole lot of point of utility yesterday in the
Correct.
vote, in my humble opinion.
Until and unless the Senate Democratic Caucus can unite in agreeing to abolish the filibuster and to use the power that we gave them when we elected them to deliver on abortion rights, to deliver on voting rights, to deliver on child tax credit that lifts people out of poverty, on economic investments, on environmental protections that combat climate change, and the whole host of things. That's the choice. Either you can defend the Jim Crow filibuster and you can continue to argue in favor of a racist tradition that appears nowhere in the Constitution, or you can move forward and do the things that we sent you here to do.
Okay, so more questions coming in on this very topic. This one's from Glass. They ask, what can we do as Las Vegas locals to help at a more local level? While the fight for social progress is important at a national level, as shown by the repeal of Roe, but true economic change has to come. So what can people be doing at home in Nevada?
Well, for starters, you can volunteer with Battleborn Progress and the amazing work that they do. But, the unfortunate reality is that Roe is an incredibly, the fall of Roe, right? This leaked decision is an incredibly bad, devastating, horrific decision. And it is the first, but it will not be the last. It is the start of a whole parade of decisions that are going to strip away people's freedom, people's civil rights, people's dignity. And unfortunately, that means that there is a very long road from here to get that back at the federal level. And the fight is in the states. And you all are, I was going to say lucky, but that's not true. You all have the result of a whole lot of hard work in Nevada, that you have a Democratic trifecta who can lead on protecting these rights in Nevada. So getting engaged with BVP to do the work to make sure you all have protected abortion rights in Nevada. What can you do to protect marriage What can you do to protect healthcare access? There's a whole host of proactive things that you can be pushing and moving forward at the state level to protect people in your state while we work in the long term, because it's going to be the long term, to build back power so that we can remake the institutions of government here in DC that Republicans have intentionally broken.
Yeah, this has been 50 years of work in the making with Roe.
Absolutely.
All right, what election plans are we working on right now? And what do you want folks at home to know about the good work Progress Now is doing around the country and that we're doing in Nevada?
Election day isn't the only time you have to show up, but you have to show up on election day. And there is so much on the ballot this November from the Senate and Congress on down. And it's not just showing up to vote for federal representatives. It is showing up to vote for governor. In Nevada, that is showing up to reelect Governor Sisolak. Thank you. It is making sure that he still has a governing majority and partners in the legislature to be able to move policies forward.
Perfect, thank you.
And it is in particular making sure that you continue to elect champions as Attorney General and Secretary of State, because what is so incredibly important about this year is making sure that the sometimes boring levers of elections around election administration, around certifying voters, and making sure that the votes are actually counted and that the electoral votes match what you all decided are protected in Nevada so that they can't steal the next election.
All right, Anna, I am going to cut in here. Thank you so much for joining us. So I want to bring back in Paula, because Paula has a very special person asking questions. So Brad obviously has given us a lot of different details. Anna's given us a lot of different details. Anna will be back on the show throughout the election cycle, but I have to get to this really important question before we wrap up tonight. So here's the question, Paula. It's from Julian.
You know him?
Do you know
that guy.
Do you know him? I feel like we should say happy birthday to Julian.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Julian.
Okay, so what are Paula's favorite parts of DC? He demands answers. He
Demands answers. That's just so like him.
For the record, everyone, this is Paula's husband asking this question.
Yes. Hi, baby. Okay, so we're talking about super serious things. I'm so excited to be part of the work. But I cannot not say that standing in front of this amazing food, that the food has not been my favorite part of DC. So yes, again, thank you.
Yeah, we've had a really lovely time this week. And I think, getting to show you things has been my favorite part, because it's so magical. Despite the crumbling democracy before our eyes, it's such a magical place to come and see and experience for the first time. So that's been super fun. Let's see here. Are we seeing any ballot initiatives being pushed nationally that we need to be on the lookout for? Brad, I'm going to bring you back in for this last question.
Absolutely.
We know that there's some national stuff that's going on. What are we seeing around the country? Obviously, we're seeing, we have Roe codified. We've gone the right way on marriage equality. We've done the right things. But are there things we should be watching out for in Nevada, and things that we should be worried about going forward?
So in Nevada, I'm not sure if there's anything that is really bad that is going to make the ballot.
Hopefully, we're working on it.
Exactly. And one thing that I will say in Nevada's experience is that the host of pro-democratic ballot initiatives that Nevadans have voted for resoundingly, including the nation's first in the nation automatic voter registration ballot initiative, that Battle Board Progress, and expanded access to voters all across the state. Nevada is unique in that it has been, and it continues to be, really at the forefront of being a truly pro-democratic state. And that's the thing that
I was very proud this week during the conference that our friend Uncle Jake, as we lovingly call him, kept shouting out Nevada. Me and Maria were like cheering from the table because it is, I'm really proud of that. I'm very proud of that work,
No,
that we are truly pro-democracy
is.
in our state, and we have
It's-
protected
It's
that.
fundamental. And I want to go back to something that Anna said, because, you know, the question before about what do we do? What do we do locally? Get engaged in your elections.
Yeah.
Become elections administrators, become volunteers at the elections board.
Yes, we need that. We'll put the link in the
Safeguard-
chat.
Safeguard our democracy. That is the best thing that you can do right now.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that is going to be a wrap for tonight. We will be back out in front next Thursday from home. We'll be back in Vegas next week, and all around the state. But I want to thank you. Thanks for joining us tonight. I know this was a quick one. Usually we go longer, but I'm hungry and I want to eat dinner. And I love you all, but I love food more, clearly. So we are going to wrap up. I want to thank Brad. I want to thank Paula. I want to thank Maria, who's literally producing the show from the table right next to me. She's waving off to the side. So, and I want to thank Anna, our national ED, for joining us tonight. We will be back out in front next Thursday at 5 o'clock. And yeah, join us next week. We'll have another amazing show. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great evening, everyone.